That definitely shows with like my very first video where it's so random. It does make no sense to a lot of people. Like, why do I want to bite my partner? But I just feel it. I just feel it in my soul. And I shared that. And it's crazy because you think that you're alone with your thoughts and stuff. You think like this, I only do this. But no, like so many people in the world could resonate with things that you do. Like just post the video. It looks ridiculous looking back. Like this looks ridiculous. I was like sitting on the floor doing my hair or something. It wasn't a very curated video, but I thank my lucky stars that I just posted it. So.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Hien, local Calgary influencer, full-time creator.
Yes.
I'd love to hear about how you got into it. Like, how did you go from transitioning to a normal, were you in a 9-to-5?
Yes, I was doing business accounting at the time when I became an influencer, yeah.
Okay, and did you always think that you were gonna move into influencing or being a creator? Or how did that kind of come about?
I feel like that was always like the dream because my younger sister actually was like influencing since she was like 16, I think, or 14 at the time. And I kind of loved that world that she was in, but didn't know how to get into it. But during COVID, I posted a video and it just randomly went viral. And it was the silliest video. It was literally like talking about how sometimes, cute aggression, when I'm with my boyfriend or something, you just have the need to like bite his arm for some reason. It was super silly, but I guess a lot of people resonated with it. And I think it got like 500,000 views.
Wow.
And because of my sister being around her when she was doing her YouTube, I knew exactly what to do to get into it and make it a full-time thing. And now we're here, I think 4 years later.
4 years later?
Yeah.
Cool. And so the cute aggression video, it was just like randomly, or did you kind of think about like, oh, I know that might be something that might resonate with people? Or
no,
you just posted it off?
I was like posting this random stuff. I was like doing my hair. I had no makeup on. I was in like just like random clothes. And it was just, I think it was like towards like a sound. Like it wasn't even like me talking. I just like put that text box on the screen. And it was like, it's a 10-second video. And I think that's the one that like changed my life. And it's still getting attention 4 years now, like down the road.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so 500,000 views, like, does that translate to followers right away, or?
Back 4 years ago, yes. TikTok was like a different climate back there. It was easier to get followers. It was easier to get attention. But nowadays, it's a lot harder. You could get a video that has like 1 million views and you won't even see your influencer, follower count go up. It's different now. But back in the day, yes, it was easier to gain followers from videos like that.
So it's 2025, this was around 2021?
Yeah, 2021, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then are you only on TikTok, or I know you have an Instagram as well?
Yeah. So again, with the whole climate change, back then, like TikTok followers meant a lot more. And now we've kind of transitioned into like Instagram actually being like the best home base. So on TikTok, you don't have like that community aspect as you do on Instagram where your followers can message you and keep in touch. Okay. TikTok, like when you go on TikTok, you rarely see the people you usually follow because it's like your For You page, it's like a bunch of different people. So I think companies and brands have noticed that and they actually have been prioritizing Instagram videos and like the community that you built on that. So I do have both, and they're a little bit even now in their priority. Like a lot of brands will look at my TikTok followers and be like, oh, that's good. But Instagram, because I have like, not similar, it's like actually like a third of my followers, but they see that I do have a good community on there, consistent community, and they take that into account too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So when you started like getting brand deals, did you have one that you can share, which was like your first kind of major one where you're like, okay, I'm moving into this as a career?
It's definitely started with like a lot of PR packages, just like companies being like free stuff. I remember a big one for me, it was I reached out to like paws.com or something. They make like waterproof like dog beds and stuff that you can take off and like wash, and I have 2 dogs. And I reached out to them and like their products I think were like, they're really good quality. They're quite like expensive. Like I couldn't purchase them at the time, and they sent me like a bunch of stuff, and I did an unboxing video. I worked with like Cricut back in the day, and all the companies I worked with at the beginning were brands that I really loved, I had things of, and it was me reaching out. It was a lot of cold calls. I remember there were days where I was sending out like 50 emails like a day, just like for 8 hours, just writing emails, and this is way before like AI or ChatGPT. So, and just hoping to get like a break and stuff like that. But yeah, now we're here.
That's amazing. And so was it, how many years in? So 2021, 2022, or 2023, it went full time?
I was full time. I think I was like full time in about 2022, 2023. I wasn't making like a ton of money, but it was enough for like me to rent my apartment and like do things like that. I wasn't doing anything crazy, but yeah. But yeah.
Enough for you to be like, okay, this is the vision I want to create for myself. I
Yeah.
want to move in that direction.
Yes.
And then
yeah.
you, like you'd mentioned, you had your sister who you kind of understood the back end business side of it. So
Yeah.
you knew it was something you could monetize.
Yeah, and like even though she's younger than me, I look up to her in like so many different ways, and she's like a massive influencer on YouTube. And just like seeing her interact with like people who follow her, and just like the way she, because influencing isn't like a job where you know exactly what you're doing. It's such like an open thing right now because it's so new, but like seeing how she creates a business out of it, and it's really like I admire her a lot, and she's taught me a lot. Even though she's never directly like helped me or taught me, I've just like seen how she does her thing, and I learned a lot from her.
Take some
Yeah.
tips and stuff.
Yes.
And with like influencing, I know people like probably 10 years ago would be like, there's no way that can be a career.
Yeah.
Right. And now it seems like everyone is moving into creating a personal brand, trying to be as authentic as they can online.
Yeah.
Did you have a progression of that? Like, I know when someone turns on the camera to start, sometimes they get like, they get a little stiff and they try to almost change their voice a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you have that kind of stage, or were you able to step right into like being authentic you on camera?
I think because I started off very much like there's not a lot of curation when it came to my videos. Like even now I'll like come online, like don't need makeup, I don't need a setup. I just kind of talk into my phone, and it's just like cute, small, like not even cute, but like 10-second videos of me being like, does anyone else do this, or does this happen to anyone else? So I've always shown up authentically, and I think that's what my followers expect from me. It's actually the videos, like if I'm doing a brand deal, like remembering a script or like reading a script is really difficult for me. It's like really hard to read because I'm like, I don't want it to sound like a brand deal or an ad and stuff. So like I think me showing up authentically is a lot easier. But when I'm doing like curated videos and stuff, I mess up a lot. Like all of my outtakes, it's just like I'll be like, "Hi guys, it's me," and then I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then I have to restart. So
Right.
I'm just learning how to be more like on the professional curated side of things. Yeah.
And so where do you see like your personal brand or the direction of influencing going in the next 1, 3, 5 years with AI coming in? So I know it's probably
That's
going to change the
definitely
landscape a lot.
Yeah, so the whole I know a lot of influencers, they talk about how companies are using AI for like certain advertisements and stuff they do, and they don't need like real people anymore. So it is a fear, I think, like in any field right now with AI taking over. I really hope that that kind of like simmers down on and influencing just continues, because there is like such a value with like people, like everyday people posting about things they like and stuff. And I'm appreciative that other brands and like companies are seeing the value in it. But there is still like a bit of pushback with like the traditional marketing people who went to school for what they did and are like amazing at creating, billboards and like commercials and stuff like that. But, having everyday people kind of step into that role, I know those marketing people see it as like a little bit of competition and they might not value it.
Right.
But like I have a partnership right now with Voila, and it's my first like national partnership. And so
Wow.
I'm filming on my iPhone, and the ad's going on like it's on like Disney Plus right now, it's on Crave, it's on like Red Zone, and like a lot of my friends are like messaging me, and that's intimidating because I'm filming on an iPhone and like stepping into the world where there are these big amazing commercials that are made that are very professional. And I remember seeing it for the first time last week, and I was like, oh, and I was like almost embarrassed, even though it was a really good video. It's not the same. Like it's not the same, but we're just filming the second video for them last night, and I'm like, okay, we got to step this up. And I'm learning a lot about like how to do things professionally. So again, like the influencing world is always changing and growing, and I'm learning a lot with like traditional marketing and how they do it.
How they do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a big learning curve to even feeling like comfortable on camera
Yeah.
to then moving into understanding brand deals and the bigger kind of national campaigns.
Yeah.
Lots of moving parts and making sure that the content you create is still aligned with who you are,
Yes.
but also gets the company who's paying you like the outcome that they're looking for.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Interesting. And so where were you, like, if just kind of rewind a little bit, like where were you born? Where did you grow up? What's your background?
Okay, so I'm a first generation Canadian. So my parents immigrated over here from Vietnam like 30 years ago.
Cool.
And I was born in Edmonton, but we moved around a little bit. My parents own a construction company, so we actually moved to Fort McMurray for a couple years. And then my parents moved me to Whitecourt, Alberta. It's like 2 hours north of Edmonton, like a small town, oil field town. And I did high school there. And then I went to Camrose for university for 4 years. I have a degree in environmental science and psychology. It was like such random degrees. But I really avoided the big city for a while. I tried not to go to Edmonton, but now I'm in Calgary and I absolutely love it.
You love it?
I love it.
So you went to Camrose College?
It's like the U of A,
The U of A.
Camrose campus or whatever.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I think that's where my mom went to school actually, but
Really?
Camrose College, it might have changed from the back
No,
then,
it was
but
because it used to be like a religious college, like a Christian college or
Probably.
something like that. But yeah, that's the only university there. Yeah.
oh, so that's where you got your degree.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my
Interesting.
God.
So then you went to Edmonton, and I think when we met, you were living in Edmonton.
Edmonton. Yeah, I was in Edmonton for 5 years after university, and then I was just like, oh, I moved to Calgary actually because of the influencing thing. My boyfriend at the time, he was in the trades, and work was good. But then I was like, the influencer demographic in Edmonton is growing, but I just like would see influencers in Calgary that I know. Like I met Jade and Tyler at the beer fest, the Banff Beer Fest a few years ago. But this was before I lived in Calgary, and I got to know like her friend group, and they're all from Calgary. And I was like, I love how close knit they are. They have this like really great influencer community there, and I was like, I want to be a part of that,
Right.
which made me move 2 years ago.
So that was a big, like, finding a community where you were all doing the same thing, kind of had
Yes.
similar goals, prompted the move down south,
Yeah.
or from Edmonton to Calgary.
Yes, because like I feel like Calgary is like I've heard it from brands too, like CeraVe, they have like pop-ups happening in Calgary, and the brands themselves kind of see Calgary being like a Toronto, Vancouver adjacent, like it's slowly growing. And hearing that from like brands like Vichy and CeraVe when they have these events, like really makes me happy about the move. And yeah.
So 2 years in Calgary, and
Yes.
any plans to go anywhere from there, or Calgary's home?
Calgary's home now. We
Okay.
just bought a house in February in Calgary, and like we're pretty much like settled down.
But you're still an Oilers fan.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
like through and through, right?
Yes. Yes. I was actually just there the other weekend to watch like their game, and I'm going sometime next week or something to watch. I actually just had a brand deal recently. I just signed the contract yesterday with Molson, because Molson's like the official
Cool.
beer partner for like the Oilers and stuff for the last like 30 years or something, and
Amazing.
they're sending me to some games, and yeah.
And so with that, like, do you have to film with Molson product, or they just want you there kind of cheering on the Edmonton Oilers? Like, what's the background of those kind of
They
deals?
really want to show like the energy with like the Oilers and stuff, because I think like when I stepped into like I've noticed that I've recently become more of like a hockey and football adjacent influencer. Like I've partnered with like Skip the Dishes and NHL, and like it's like I have put myself in a position where like I've aligned with the Oilers and like football and like sports.
Yeah.
So they just really want to bring me into the fold, saying like, sports are for everyone, like for women, men, like everyone. It's like a inclusive community. They want to see like the energy and how fun it is to be at an Oilers game.
Mhm.
So they do want to have Molson products in it, but it's mostly about just like the energy that we bring to the games and how fun and like amazing it is, just the experience in total.
You're excited and having a
Yeah,
good time.
it is so fun, and like I bedazzled my jersey, so they want to like show like all of that stuff. Yeah.
Do you do videos on the process of, like, I might have seen you put together your jersey,
Yeah.
bedazzled it with all the shiny stones,
Yeah, right. So
Okay.
yeah, that was kind of what got me in the door with the Oilers and like
Okay.
sports. Like I was just bedazzling my jersey because I was like, the jerseys are great, but like if they were shiny, I think they would be 10 times better. Yeah, so I think I bedazzled like 5 jerseys. I did a jean jacket. I think I want to do like cowboy boots this year,
Fun.
like cutting up jerseys and then putting on cowboy boots. But
Amazing.
yeah.
Were you at Stampede this year?
Yes, I was.
Do you want to move into influencing with those type of brands, like the Calgary Stampede? Because I know they have a lot of like international brands that come there. Is that a place that you meet other influencers, or you build your community at like a worldwide festival like that?
Yeah, Stampede is like huge for like content creators and stuff like that. I haven't partnered with Stampede like as a corporation, but last year, like so the first year I was in Calgary, McDonald's had a big like a brand trip there. So I was like one of 10 creators that were there, and it was like a 2-day event. They took us to a ranch where that ranch provides like the beef for McDonald's, and we learned about them because McDonald's is actually like my very first job in Whitecourt when I was 14.
Cool.
So again, full circle, and then environmental science. It was a partnership with them, and then this year I was actually with Paramount Plus for one of their activations. So I've like worked around like at the Calgary Stampede, but not like directly with them yet.
With
but
the brand.
yeah, but Calgary Stampede is like a great place for creators. Like it's really fun to see all my other creator friends like in Calgary. They're at this event, they're at this pop-up, and it's so interesting to see that different creators aligning with like different brands and stuff like that, like which ones they get invited to. But like it's not like a jealousy thing ever. It's just like, oh, like I didn't even know that was happening. It's cool that they were invited, and they like lived through my other influencer friends like online.
Right.
Yeah.
You resonate with them, and
Yeah.
I think that's why people follow influencers in general, is they see parts of themselves in the person that they're following.
Yeah, I
right?
hope that's like the goal. So like I really hope so.
Very, very cool. And so, it's a full-time role for you now. You bought a house in Calgary. The boyfriend that you were with is now your fiance, and or
Yes.
yeah, right? When's the wedding?
Probably 2027.
2027.
Yeah,
Okay,
I didn't
exciting.
realize how much goes into a wedding, and like we had like we made like an Excel spreadsheet of like everything we need to plan, like and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it next year. It's like way too much work. So pushing it to like another year.
Push it, plan
Yeah.
it, do it properly,
Yes,
and
just take our time. I'm loving life right now. I don't want to be stressed out.
did you had a house and were you guys renovating it? Did you renovate it or
Yes,
okay?
we
Or painted it at least?
yeah, we bought the house and got possession February 3rd. February 4th, my mom and I ripped up all the carpet and
Wow.
put in hardwood. Chance wasn't home at this time. He was away working. So he actually didn't see the house for a whole month until he got back from work.
Okay.
And my mom and I were just the whole month we were like renovating. Like I have ADHD and it was going wild. I loved it so much. Like we put in hardwood, we're painting. I made a walk-in closet. I'm still doing all that right now.
Fun. And
Yeah.
so Chance came into kind of more of a finished product, or would
A
you move
little
into a
bit.
construction zone?
Okay, so it was a construction zone for the last like week we were there. There was literally a miter saw in our master bedroom, and like when we were working on it, I had to cover up my bed with like plastic wrap because sawdust was everywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it was worth it in the end. Honestly, it's great. And I feel like having a house has been so good for me because when I am home, like the problem with like working at home, I love it because I get to spend time with my dogs and I get to make my own schedule. But it's really hard to like keep yourself busy on the weeks that you're not busy. So like having a house, I can just do a bunch of projects and stuff like that. It's just I've loved.
What are some of your hobbies that you get into outside of like influencing and creating?
It depends on the week. So right now I'm really into like making clay magnets. Rhinestoning is definitely one of them. I'm making like my Halloween costume right now. I like really got into gardening this summer. Like I made like 4 different cedar planters and a brick planter and I gardened. It's just kind of whatever. Like I'll see something on TikTok and I'm like, I can do this. Like you know that mentality where you're like, I feel like I can do anything
Mm-hmm.
just like a little bit. So you try it and then so I have like a bunch of hobbies right
You
now.
enjoy it, and then okay, I
Yes.
could get better at this a
Yes.
little bit.
I got into like murder mysteries like a lot recently. So I'll like sit at home and do one of those like murder mystery like case files where you're trying to figure out like who killed who and
Fun.
it's really fun.
Do you like where do you draw like obviously get brand deals and they kind of give you direction with your creative outlets, but where do you draw inspiration from for your own just like authentic yeah, why you created videos, I guess? What would you say when you're just like, oh, I have this idea and I want to create it and try it out? Do you do that now, or is it mostly just brand videos and stuff that come through?
So right now, because we're going into quarter 4, it's like one of the busiest seasons. So definitely like more, it's right now it's a lot more brand deals. So like a lot of my videos are getting like put on the back burner and it's getting a little bit stressful right now because I'm like, oh my God, I have like Halloween videos to put out right now of my DIY costume, but I have like all these brand deals that I have to put out and it kind of gets like that sometimes. But when it's like slower seasons, like kind of in the summer, when you have like maybe like 1 or 2 brand deals like every couple weeks and stuff, a lot of it is like videos that I just want to do. And if
Mm-hmm.
I have a video that I want to do with like, so with the Oilers, actually like 3 years ago, I reached out to them because I thought I'd be like a great partner with them when I was like bedazzling my jersey. And like same with like McDonald's and stuff because of like my background with them. A lot of the times if I have an idea, I'll just reach out to the brand. And I feel like as I've gotten like bigger as a creator, brands will reach out to me. But anything I accept, it's really like in line with like what I feel, what I do. I think like all of my partnerships are very authentic to me and I don't do videos that don't make sense to me or align with me or I'm not afraid to speak up when I'm like, I don't really like saying this. Like, I don't think it makes sense or
Right.
which I think at the beginning I wouldn't have been able to. At the beginning, you're just kind of accepting brand deals because you're like, it's like an extra couple dollars to like get me through the next month.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like pleasantly, like I'm happy to be in the position where everything that goes on my page is quite authentically what I want to do and what I want to say.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a big barrier for people. The idea there's this concept of like the starving artist.
Yeah.
Right? It's like if you pursue a life that you like as an artist or a poet or anyone that's a creative,
Yeah.
you're always kind of grinding and you never
Yeah.
really get to that place of financial stability
Yeah.
or financial abundance, and it kind of stops a lot of people from taking that leap.
Yeah.
With your video getting like the 500,000 views and kind of almost thrusting you into it just haphazardly, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's just happening for me.
Yeah.
What would you kind of guide people in if they're looking for maybe becoming a creator or an influencer or creating content in general, and they're not really sure where to start because they know they still did a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
They haven't hit like a 500,000
Yeah.
viral video yet.
Yeah.
Do you have any like pointers for people, like with regards to how they can either, you know, get comfortable on camera? What's the first thing they kind of look for, or
Mhm.
you know, just any tips and tricks?
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a loaded question, but I love it so much. I think I was really lucky because when I did start influencing, I had a partner who like had a really consistent job, and him being like having like a 9 to 5, being able to like if I knew I had a safety net at all times, and I knew like if anything were to happen, like my parents could help me out, and like I think a lot of creators sometimes don't have that, like they are living by themselves. And the scary thing about influencing is like sometimes like I don't get paid for like 60 days. There have been months where I'll have like 5 brand deals that I've already completed and no one has paid me, and that is super stressful. I think the first thing I would look at as a creator is like what is my, like if you're starting out, like what is my safety net? Like do I have a safety net? Because like the worst thing you could do is like put yourself in a place where you can get evicted, or you know you can't afford groceries. And like
Hmm.
that, being a creator, you really need to be creative. And like when you're like in fight or flight mode, trying to survive, like that does not create a space where you can like do all the fun things. And it really shows through the screen, like when you're happy and like when you're stressed out, it really does show. Because like
Hmm.
the times where I'm really stressed out, I'm not posting fun things, and like it's not like I can tell, and I know my followers can tell. So number one, knowing where your safety net is, or if you have one. And the second thing, like you hear so much, is it's just post. And like that definitely shows with like my very first video, where it's so random. It does make no sense to a lot of people. Like, why do I want to bite my partner? But I just feel it. I just feel it in my soul. And I shared that. And it's crazy because you think that you're alone with your thoughts and stuff. You think like this, I only do this. But no, like so many people in the world could resonate with things that you do. Like just post the video. It
Right.
looks ridiculous looking back. Like this looks ridiculous. I was like sitting on the floor doing my hair or something. It wasn't a very curated video,
Hmm.
but I thank my lucky stars that I just posted it. So I think like a lot of people say like, oh, but my life is so boring. I don't want to post my life. It's so boring. But I'm like, everyone thinks that. Every creator thinks their life is boring. I think my life is boring. I don't do anything. I sit at home with my dogs. Sometimes I go outside and I do like random stuff. Like my life doesn't make sense. Like it's not very luxurious, I think, in my eyes, but a lot of people like it. And I think the mental block is the biggest thing that people have to get over, because it's like
Right.
just post it.
And do you think that mental block is like a judgment thing? Like people are afraid, oh, if I post this video, people are going to judge me for it? Or like,
Oh,
what do you think is the
yeah.
biggest mental barrier for people not posting?
100%. I think like especially if you're like a little younger, like you just got out of high school or you just are in university, you're scared that like your hometown friends are gonna see this, or your hometown people. And people do judge, especially coming from a small town. Like I do know like a lot of like my sister definitely coming out of like white court too as a creator. Like there was a lot of negativity around that. Like I know people talked behind her back, like, oh my God, like she thinks she's gonna make it. But she has made it. Now she's living in New York, and she like pays for my parents to go fly over there to see her for like months on end, and like she's living a really good life. And I think the biggest thing is as you get older, I think you have that mentality where it's like, if you don't like me, I really don't. It doesn't really bother me, because like I do have like a good like that like friend group and like connections and stuff like that. But I do think the judgment does stop people. But I think it just comes with time and maturity, where you're just like, it doesn't really matter, because this could be the best thing that you ever do. So
Right. And this is true to me, and this is what I want to do. The
yeah,
people I don't know don't, what's it? If you don't know them, it doesn't matter or whatever. There's a
yes,
quote like
or
that.
yeah. But if it's like, oh, those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind, which is
Yes.
so true. Because I know even a lot of my friends who have like businesses, like they're not influencers, they have like businesses, and they're like, when you start your own business, you really see who your true friends are, like the ones who actually support you, the ones who like actually go in and buy stuff instead of being like, oh, can I have a discount and stuff.
Hmm.
So I think it's the same mentality. Like you keep the ones you care about close, and if they are judging you and stuff, like, do you really want them that close? So
Right.
yeah, exactly the
And
same.
I think a lot of people in general, when they think of that, when people are doing something more than them, that's where the judgment comes from. You never get judgment from someone doing more than you, ever. It's always like
Exactly.
from people doing less than you and then being like, oh, they think they, like to your sister's point, she thinks she's going to make it. And
Yeah.
I don't know how many years ago that was, but like even if it's a decade later, she has made it. She's a
Yeah.
full-time influencer. She, you know, probably doesn't have financial problems by the sounds of
Yeah,
it,
she's
and she's
living her best life, and like it's not even like they're in her rearview mirror. Like she doesn't even think about them,
right.
and that is so true. Like it's like the jealousy, I guess, that comes from like being online and being vulnerable and like putting yourself into that space. Like you do open yourself up to a lot of criticism. I remember There was like during like just right after COVID, like I don't get a ton of hate online at all, but I remember there was these videos, and like people were criticizing because the way it was posted, it looked like because I did get COVID during COVID, and the way I was posting videos, it looked like I had gone out of my house and like went to I think Lake Louise before by 10 days or something was up, and I was getting absolutely like torn apart. People were making videos about me, and it's not the case. And like a lot of people think like what they see online is like the 100% the truth, but they don't realize like I don't generally make a video and post it like right there and then. And it was a big thing. And I told my boyfriend at the time, I was like, I want to reply to these people so bad. Like they're saying such mean things and I want to set them straight. But I actually didn't grow up like on social media, but he did, like on the whole YouTube era and stuff. And he was like, you cannot reason with these like the trolls online,
yeah.
like the keyboard warriors, and like because like me, I'm just like I just want to set them straight, and I was just so like in my head, and he's like, I'm just gonna take your phone away, and like having just him, like I didn't realize like looking back, like having him like as a support system, like he knew a lot of things like I didn't, because I'm such a that person where I'm like, yeah, I can reason with them, it's fine, and he's like, no, you can't reason with insane people like this. And
Right.
I think that's another downside of being a content creator. Like a lot of creators get way more hate and scrutiny than I do. I'm really lucky. I have a really good, wholesome community, but there are times where even like sometimes like people will do like a one-off comment about your features or your looks, like, and you just want to say something so bad, but you have to just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember with my cousin, she's getting into the influencing world a little bit. She's like a mother, and she's getting into the influencing world in Edmonton. And she's like, how do you deal with this? Like, how do you deal with people like scrutinizing you and everything you do? And I'm like, you just have to ignore it.
Yeah.
And you have to have like some thick skin, unfortunately.
Just don't even look at the comments.
No, because it really just like it'll sit with you for a while, and it's just better not to like read it. Just like, okay, it's like, yeah.
So when you get, say, praise,
Yeah.
or then you get criticism, and it's like you almost don't want to let either of them land in a way, because
Yeah.
you don't want outside people to affect your inner world.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. It's like you have to kind of put up that barrier, and it's so true. They always say like you can get like 30 amazing, great comments, but the one negative one that doesn't even like make sense, or it's not true, that is the one that you'll remember for like a
Right.
while. So like the negative comments do sit with you for a while, and it's just like this inner battle of like you want to make a follow-up video to explain yourself, but it's like, why are you explaining yourself to like the one negative person? Why not just like focus on the community that you've built? And like I've had to block a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a lot, but like a dozen. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's crazy.
And I think when people are trolling, it's that same thing. Like they don't have anything happening in their life
Yeah.
they're motivated for, so they feel better to pull other people down in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just like happen in the influencer world; it happens in real life as
Yeah.
well, right? So.
Oh yeah, and like I think everyone's first opinion sometimes, because I even like I'll be watching a creator's video, and if I have like a negative thought towards it or something, I kind of check myself a little bit. Sometimes I've like had to check myself. I'm like, am I just jealous because they're a little more privileged than me? Like I started off, like a lot of creators, they do come from like say like wealthier families, so they started off a little higher. They're able to like, vlog their great trips and stuff. And I've had thoughts where I'm like, well, they're not as good because like I started from like this, and I'm like, stop. Like, and
Right.
I would never type anything, but it's just like that internal monologue that you have to check yourself, because I think it's so easy to let jealousy or just like envy like seep out.
Mm-hmm.
But so I even like work on that myself. It doesn't happen as much anymore, but definitely when I first started, like seeing these people who like blew up really big, and I'm like, oh, well, they only blew up because so and so, and I'm like, stop, like
Right.
that's not good. It's usually not with creators that like are in like low, like my like friends and stuff like that, people I know. It's usually like like people in America, like that you see that are posting all these things. But I definitely have to check myself too. So these people are just like really unregulated and stuff. It's just I try not to pay attention to that.
Do you feel like in that, obviously I'm sure there's a few bad apples in certain elements, right? Like not everyone you meet is always like the most stand-up person, because there's no barrier to entry in getting into influencing and creating, and some content that people create can be, on the verge of mean potentially, or stuff like that. Like how would you, when you're flipping through and people are scrolling on TikTok and they see people and someone says something and they kind of have that judgment or they are drawn to it, how much does that affect where people go like, oh, because like, the news is always negative.
Yeah.
That everyone watches the news.
Yeah.
And so it's like, how do you balance that with like the negativity is almost draws people in, but like, you know, they're not posting great stories of this person who did amazing things on national television. It never gets the click.
Yeah.
But the negative thing or the dangerous thing is always people tune in because there's a fear component.
Yeah, and they want to jump in on the
and they want to jump in on that. So how, like, you know, as a creator and wanting to be, you know, authentic and stand up, and you're putting out content and you know that maybe like the happy-go-lucky stuff might not, you know, get as much likes or as much views, but you want the controversial stuff. Yeah. How do you think people decide which path to take? Because there's a lot of people who do the controversial stuff because it gets more attention.
The rage baiting and stuff.
Exactly. Yes. Or like even in UFC, like a lot of like the beaking at each other, right?
Yes,
like,
it's all for like show.
It's all for show, but it gets people going.
It gets people engaged. Oh, 100%. I've always heard that too. Like the controversial stuff is what gets you like views. It's what gets you attention to your page and stuff like that. And like even my boyfriend has said that sometimes, like when I was getting all that like undesired stuff, like to make me feel better, he's like, you know what, it's controversial and stuff like that, but you know, you're getting views to your page and stuff like that. And it is true. You do get. But it was really nice to see, like, under the comments, I have built such a great community where people have defended me without me having to say anything and stuff. And I have people who followed me since the beginning. And I think they're the ones who keep me going. Like, I have followers that I know by name and I've met in public, like, multiple times. And I consider them, like, I guess, like acquaintances because I don't hang out with them all the time. But I love the people who I've surrounded myself with. So I think I stay away from, like, the controversial, the rage bait, the views, because I always think, like, if you are authentic, and it's proof, like I have such a great community, they're what drive me. Like views don't drive me as much anymore. It used to. I remember the transition between like TikTok in the like 2001, 2002, it was like you were thriving off of the views, the likes, the attention. But because you don't get as much of that anymore, I am just relying on my community to sustain me pretty much. They're the reason I get my brand deals and stuff like that, because they engage with my content, they click on my links, they support me. Like if I post like any link and they're like, oh, I bought it through your Amazon link. They are why I am where I am now. And I think having that like understanding where like, yes, rage baiting is, yeah, you'll get the views, you'll get that, but my community is just so much more important to me. So I think I've never really like strayed from that. Like I do things for them and they'll give me advice. They'll be like, oh, like you should work with this brand because this makes sense. And I absolutely adore them. So they kind of keep me on that path.
That's awesome. Yeah. Having like a close extended family.
Yes.
Right?
Like, there's so many of them. And even like at Beer Fest, because we've been working together for like 4.5 years. I was looking back at our messages. I reached out to you guys in 2020, actually.
Was it 2020?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
You guys have been actually a part of my influencer journey throughout, like, because that's when I started it. And I think I was one of the first influencers you guys
Jasper Beer Fest, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. And like, throughout the last 5 years, like so many people have come up to me and they're like, I'm here because I saw your story. And I'm like, I absolutely love that. Even if it's just like 2 people who've come up to me and I'm like, this is what I do it for. And I'm always so excited to meet people.
Yeah, we love having you at the Beer Fest. Thanks. We're here actually for the weekend of Banff Beer Fest. Yes. This will probably be posted afterwards. Yeah. But a couple other things I want to chat about. Yeah. So what's the rage baiting and like kind of trying to look at that and knowing, oh, that's, you know, when I'm on Instagram or I'm on TikTok, like it's like dopamine, right? Yeah. And like it's like it seems like the more you tap into that world, the more you almost need it.
Yes.
Have you had to like ever do like a dopamine detox or anything where you like put your phone away for 3 days and you don't touch it? Or
I feel like this whole generation is just, it's so easy to like doom scroll, and then it's like 2 a.m. You're like, I need to go to bed. 100. I feel like your screen time, like sometimes I'm ashamed when it's like your daily screen time is like 8 hours and I'm like, this is awful. And like you feel it, like you don't feel good after like putting your phone away for sure. And I think like that's why I have so many of my hobbies and stuff like that. And like I literally just have to go outside and like physically touch grass. Like owning a home now instead of living in an apartment, physically going into my backyard and just like, even if I'm on my phone, I've noticed going outside and sitting on my patio furniture and doing it makes me feel better. I think like just going out and doing things now that like I know that winter's coming and stuff, but I'm lining up a bunch of stuff like going on ski trips and stuff. Like I really just want to live in the moment. And like that's why I always joke that I'm a really bad influencer, because even when I'm at Beer Fest and stuff, I'm having so much fun. I don't pick up my phone to do a video. And I think because of that, I've been able to kind of counteract the doom scrolling and stuff. I'm not like on my phone when I'm in public. I'm not on my phone when I'm at dinner and stuff like that. And I definitely do think the detoxing of the phone is just like when I just leave the house. I just have to exit my doors and then I just don't touch my phone. So I just
Yeah.
have to prioritize that.
I've noticed when I go like camping or something and I don't have my cell phone for 2 days, three
Yeah.
days, all of a sudden your nervous system, everything seems to just slow down to like a
Yes.
normal pace.
Oh, yes.
You're like, wow, the internet's amazing and it's such a fantastic tool. And obviously we've met through the internet, and we, sell tickets to our event through the internet and all the channels, Instagram and YouTube and all that. But it does find it can beat you down a little bit if you don't know how to separate yourself from it in a way.
Yeah. It's like I saw this quote on online. It's like it really is the damn phone. Like my parents were right. It really is the damn phone. Like
Hmm.
and it is the cause of a lot of I think like anxiety when it comes to some people because like when you go online it's like you see the most perfect curated world of like different people because like I don't show a lot of the bad things like you show like the highlight reel and I think it's really easy to compare yourself to people not even just like when you're physically doom scrolling it's just like you kind of beat yourself down because you're like, why am I not doing that? Like, why is my life like this? And so I definitely think it is important to just like step away. And like, again, I think it all goes back to like having like your friends, like your partner, like it really is important. I feel like having my family and stuff, they're the most important thing. And they're what get me through this job. Like it's a really I don't think it's a hard job. It is like stressful at times, but like my fiance, he's out working. Like I don't even know what he does, but he definitely works so much harder than me. Like I live such a privileged life, and I think having like my friend group that hold like they ground me a lot, and
Hmm.
my friends, they're like everything to me, and my followers are everything to me too. But yeah, it's like a balance.
The community.
Yeah,
I saw like a stat somewhere. It's like they asked a bunch of high school or university kids, what do they want to be when they grow up?
yeah,
And I think it was like 80% or something was influencer or creator
yeah,
or something in the internet economy.
yeah,
When you look at the different platforms, there's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
yeah. Yeah,
Snapchat.
Snapchat now, yeah, and like there's like streamers on Twitch
Right.
and Twitter and there's a lot, but like yeah, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube would be the main ones.
The
I
main
think.
ones.
Yeah,
And so, do you have a YouTube channel?
I did, and I just it was a lot of like work to do the long form one, so I've just focused on like TikTok and Instagram.
And Instagram
Yeah.
as your main focus.
Hmm.
With someone starting out, going back to like someone like the 80% that want to be
Yeah.
creators, would you say pick one platform and go all in on that, or diversify and have a couple ones and try to spread out the content?
I think when you first start off, you need Instagram. I think Instagram, even though like a lot of people complain about it, it is that home base for all the creators and everybody. Like I said, it's like that place where you connect with everyone and then you pick your second form, like TikTok or YouTube, because I feel like when you spread yourself out too thin, because when you film for TikTok, it's different than YouTube. And then when you edit for YouTube, it's different. And I think a lot of creators and just people in general, they spread themselves out way too thin. And when you do that, you can't do that one thing good. And
Right.
I think people say like, oh, niche down, like do this, do that, pick a category. But I think I don't have a category. I think when I have to check a box when I'm doing a form or something, it's like, what's your category? And I'm like, I guess lifestyle. I've never niched down and it's done great for me. But I think you need to do one thing well before you move on to like the YouTube and stuff like that. You really just gotta like do short form videos well or like long form videos. Just like you need to find something that people find you for. Like but if you like do too many things, they're like, oh, you have this, but this, and you're talking about this. And I think it's just, yeah, do the Instagram and then just pick one other one.
Pick one other
Yeah.
one. And those are all, obviously free to use.
Mhm.
And then there's things like Patreon and these paywalls.
Yes. Yeah.
What's your opinion on like paywall content? Do you think it's going to keep growing? Netflix subscriptions, first of all, there's no commercials. And now there's like
Yeah.
different tiers of commercials.
Yes.
Do you think that same transition is going to happen in the creator economy where most of your favorite creators are going to go behind a paywall and you'll
Yeah.
have to subscribe to like a monthly subscription to get their content?
It's already starting to happen in the last like 2 years. I know like TikTok has that feature. I played with it for a bit in the sense where it's like people can pay $3 and then when they're in your lives or something like that, they can do certain things. They have a badge by their name. I know my sister has it too on Instagram where you just pay a monthly subscriptions and then you get the extra content and stuff.
Mhm.
I personally don't love that model. I stepped away from it. I think I did it for like a month. I think I got like $60 or something like that. But I personally don't love it. But I know a lot of creators do that, and that's kind of where they get their guaranteed money because
Right.
content creation is so like up in the air. If you don't have like a stable stream of income, it is scary from time to time. But I think a lot of people will be putting their foot down against it because again, I'm putting my foot down against like the whole subscription thing and like I think like there's a car company that's opening up subscription where, like, I think it was Toyota or whatever, you pay $8 a month to have access to your like speedometer or something.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel like we're just getting fatigued with all that stuff, and us as like people are just gonna put our foot down. So I don't think it'll move in that direction. I hope it doesn't.
You hope not.
Yeah.
I know in all the movies of the future, it's always like ads are popping up on your screen,
Oh my
like and your
gosh,
glasses and
yes.
coming into your home, and
It's
you're like you
crazy.
can't get away from it. So
Yeah.
I agree. I hope it doesn't move in that direction. But it seems like, you know, with commerce, they're always looking to monetize. And
Yeah,
so if there's a
capitalism,
way,
final boss. Yeah.
yeah, you need to make money in order to live in this world, right?
Yes.
So
But I feel like if you're like I don't make like in Canada. In Canada, you don't make money off of like per view like you do in America and stuff like that.
oh really?
Yeah.
Canada, you don't.
No,
Okay,
no.
so
There's a
that's
couple countries that don't. I think Australia, Canada. Yeah. So in America, it's a very incentivized to be an influencer because if you get a video that gets 1 million views, I think it's like 7 cents per 1,000 views or something, you can make serious money off a certain video. But in Canada, you have to grind a little more. I get paid by brand deals. So like a brand will reach out to me, they'll pay me X amount of dollars for, a video. And because of that, I don't look at my followers as money ever. Like I don't want them to buy anything. I don't sell them something unless I'm like, this is really good or like this is great. Like I don't see them as a way to make money. I think that's why I'm not like begging for views or begging for anything. I think that's a reason I show up so authentically because they're not what's going to make me money directly, but indirectly because they watch my content for fun and they enjoy my presence. That's why I can make my income.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I saw this video actually earlier this morning, and I wanted to talk with you about it because it ties into authenticity.
Yeah.
And it was an experiment that it was some European scientists, and what they did was they built a Faraday cage. Do you know what a Faraday cage is?
No.
It's like an area that there's no frequency you can go in and out of the cage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so it's like pretty much like like an empty room.
Yeah.
And they can test when people go inside, and then people emit like an energy. If you're, if you're in love, you emit a certain type of energy. If you're angry, obviously you emit a certain energy. When someone's sad and they walk into the room, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So they experimented with all these different emotions, and which one produced the most amount of energy from people.
Yeah.
And so they tested like love, people that were in fear, sad, jealousy, all the different things. And the highest one was authenticity. So it was like, that was like off the chart.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it was like people who were authentic were like blowing the meter out. And they're like, oh, okay, so authenticity is actually even more potent than like love. Yeah, I'll send you the video. It's really cool. And so they were talking about how when through a conversation, if two people vibe and like, you know when you vibe with someone, you can get energy and you can exchange it with one another. And so when people look at being an influencer and trying to become authentic and moving into that kind of self-development direction, it seems to be beneficial for like their financial health, their personal health, their mental health, their physical health, all their relationships. And I just found that video like fascinating. It was like, because people know about like frequency and vibrations and these type of things, but to actually have an experiment that shows that when you become the most authentic you literally glow. I thought it was like fascinating. Cool. And you've had a personal experience of that, going through being a creator, finding your niche, finding your voice. And I guess my question to you is, do you have an opinion on when like some of your favorite creators that you look up to, have you seen them like have a glow up in like their journey, or did you like come in middle of the way? Like, have you seen anyone that's not you go, oh yeah, I saw them start, and then you saw them kind of get better. At a certain point, you just kind of saw them take off.
Yeah, I don't, because again, I wasn't on social media very frequently until I started becoming a content creator, but I do like follow creators and stuff like that. And I have noticed actually the creators I follow are the ones that are just similar to me, but on a bigger scale. They just kind of show up and they do like kind of everything. They show parts of their life that they really love. And it's not like they're doing stuff for a check, or they're not doing like all the other influencer things. And they're not just showing like influencer events, but they show like when they're going camping, or like when they're doing things that seem so personal to them. And I really do love those influencers that feel like you're kind of just they're just taking you on a journey through their phone instead of being like very curated and stuff. And I guess that is the authenticity thing, that you can probably just feel it through the screen, because those are the influencers I usually follow.
That you tune into.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon here, but I have a couple other questions. I know you met your fiance now at a dance party. At a Halloween rave. Okay. Do you guys still go out dancing together, or is that like in the past?
So we don't go to raves anymore, but we met at the Halloween rave Scream in 2019, and he actually asked me out at the second rave we went to together, Frequency 2020. So it was like 4 months later. And we went to a few, but I think we've outgrown it a little bit. We do like more country music and stuff,
Okay.
but we do like to go out to dance. Like when we were in Italy, we like went out and like it's a lot more calm and tame now because I mean, I'm reaching my 30s. My neck, I give myself whiplash every time I go out like clubbing because
Okay.
I'm not a good dancer,
Head bob too much?
way
or-
too much because I'm not a good dancer, but if I throw my body in certain ways, it looks kind of like I can dance, but yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah, but not anymore.
And you just recently got back from Italy. That's where he proposed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be kind of the last thing. Was Italy always like a dream vacation for you guys, or why did you decide to take the trip to Italy? Did he have it all planned in the background that he was going to propose to you on that trip, or was it a surprise for you?
Okay, so I've been to Italy like 2 times before, like a decade ago. But Chance has actually never left the continent. Like the furthest he's gone is like America and then Mexico. So this was his first time like leaving the continent, and it was actually super random. So in July, we were at my cousin's wedding in Mexico. We were there with all my family and stuff like that. And I was a bridesmaid, and one of the bridesmaids, Julie, we got along pretty well. And at the end of the trip, her and her fiance at the time, they were like, "We adore you guys. Would you want to come to our wedding in 2 months in Italy?" And we were like, yeah, okay, yeah, of course. So that's just how Chance and I are, just spontaneous. We try to take like every opportunity and seize it. So we were scrambling for 2 months, trying to find the finances to pay to go to Italy and just like like dog sitters for our dogs and stuff like that. And in my head, I just thought, like, I didn't know this was happening, but I was just like, if he knew me at all, this was the place to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's been designing the ring. He was designing the ring for 6 months at this time. I knew that he was getting in the process of it. And after he proposed to me, he did tell me he had a plan originally to do it in BC. He was going to do like a big group thing with me and like some other couple friends of ours, and we were going to go on a group trip to BC in these like glamping tents.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to propose there, but he was like, well, we're going to Italy, and he had to like rush the ring like to get it. He got it the day before we left apparently.
Wow.
And he didn't propose until like 6 days in, so he was walking around Italy with my ring in his like fanny pack, like he was just like guarding it with his life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was amazing. Like I loved Italy. It was great.
And you were surprised when it all
Yeah,
happened?
I thought I wouldn't be a crier because, like, you know, when you date someone for so long, you know it's coming. I blacked out. He had a whole speech that he said to me. I didn't hear a single thing after he said my name, a single thing. And he's like, good thing I wrote it down on my phone. So he had it on his phone so I could read it after at our dinner. And I cried again at dinner. It was just like a really great day.
Adorable.
Yeah, and I'm sad he's not here because I know he wanted to
he's
see
awesome.
you again.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
great to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, we're at the Banff Beer Fest.
Yeah.
That'll be this weekend, and I asked one last question. Without knowing who the next guest on the podcast is going to be,
Mhm.
what would be a question you would always want to ask someone? You essentially have the floor.
Oh my God.
So then I'll use that question to ask the next person, and then we pass it down the line like that.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Doesn't maybe it could be like, what are your shoes, or like,
Yeah.
but maybe something a little bit more in
Yeah,
depth,
then
knowing
yeah.
you. But
I think it's especially just because of the last couple years, I've just been really happy. And I guess the question would be is like, what kind of gets you out of bed? Or like, you know, like what drives you to like be the person you are kind
what
of
drives
thing.
you to be the
Yeah.
person you're going to be?
For me, it's honest. It really genuinely, it's so cheesy and sappy, but it genuinely is the people in my life. Like I'm gonna cry. I like have my 2 girlfriends here with me, and like we were talking about how much we just like love spending time with each other. So like for me, like my like where does your happiness come from? For me, it's like I'm gonna cry. It just really comes from like my connections with people. I really just love my people, I guess.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Why am I crying?
That's perfect. I'm
Oh my
glad you took
God.
the time today. It's great to see you again.
Oh my
We're
God.
gonna have a
Yes.
wicked time tonight.
Yes, let's grab a drink 'cause I
And-
think I need it now.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
and we'll see you
you.
next week.
Thanks so much for listening to the Create Podcast. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next Wednesday.